Kinsey, and welcome back to Remember What the Lord Has Done. Today, Genesis 35, 36, and 37 has us continuing following Jacob. So last time we saw Jacob wrestling with God, and then that reunion with Esau, and then also Dinah and the Shechemites. Today, we're going to be seeing his return to Bethel. Return? Yeah, his return to Bethel. Okay. We'll also be taking a look at the death of Isaac and Rachel, a look at Esau's descendants, and then Edom's rulers, and then finally be introduced to Joseph. So we'll see that just in these three chapters 35, 36, and 37. So, chapter 35. Then God said to Jacob, "Go up to Bethel and settle there, and build an altar there to God, who appeared to you when you were fleeing from your brother Esau." So Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, "Get rid of the foreign gods you have with you, and purify yourselves, and change your clothes. Then, come, let us go up to Bethel, where I will build an altar to God, who answered me in the day of my distress, and who has been with me wherever I have gone." So they gave Jacob all their foreign gods, and they had all the foreign gods that they had, and the rings in their ears, and Jacob buried them under the oak at Shechem. Then they set out, and the terror of God fell upon all the towns all around them, so that no one pursued them. Jacob and all the people with him came to Luz, that is, Bethel in the land of Canaan. There he built an altar, and he called the place El Bethel, because it was there that God revealed himself to him when he was fleeing from his brother. Now Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and was buried under the oak below Bethel. So it was named Alam Bukuth. After Jacob returned from Padan Aram, God appeared to him again and blessed him. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob, but you will no longer be called Jacob. Your name will be Israel." So he named him Israel. And God said to him, "I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and increase in number. A nation and a community of nations will come from you, and kings will come from your body. The land I gave to Abraham and Isaac I also give to you, and I will give this land to your descendants after you." Then God went up from him at the place where he had talked with him. Jacob set up a stone pillar at the place where God had talked with him, and he poured out a drink offering on it. He also poured oil on it. Jacob called the place where God had talked with him Bethel. Then they moved on from Bethel. While they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel began to give birth and had great difficulty. And as she was having great difficulty in childbirth, the midwife said to her, "Don't be afraid, for you have another son." And as she breathed her last, for she was dying, she named her son Ben-Oni. But his father named him Benjamin. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Over her tomb Jacob set up a pillar, and to this day that pillar marks Rachel's tomb. Israel moved on again and pitched his tent beyond Migdal Eder. While Israel was living in that region, Reuben went in and slept with his father's concubine, Bilhah, and Israel heard of it. Jacob had 12 sons. The sons of Leah, Reuben, the firstborn of Jacob, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Rachel's maidservant, Bilhah, Dan, and Naphtali. The sons of Leah's maidservant, Zilpah, Gad, and Asher. These were the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Padan Aram. Jacob came home to his father Isaac in Marmeh near Kirath Arba, that is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had stayed. Isaac lived 180 years when he breathed his last and died and was gathered to his people, old and full of years, and his sons Esau and Jacob buried him.
Chapter 36. This is the account of the family line of Esau, that is Edom. Esau took his wives from the women of Canaan, Adah, daughter of Elon the Hittite, Holibamah, daughter of Anna, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, also Basemath, daughter of Ishmael and sister of Nebaioth. Adah bore Eliphaz to Esau, Basemath bore Reuel, and Aholibamah bore Jush, Jalam, and Korah. These were the sons of Esau who were born to him in Canaan. Esau took his wives and sons and daughters and all the members of his household, as well as his livestock and all the other animals and all the goods he had acquired in Canaan, and moved to land some distance from his brother Jacob. Their possessions were too great for them to remain together. The land where they were staying could not support them both because of their livestock. So Esau, that is Edom, settled in the hill country of Seir. This is the account of the family line of Esau, father of the Edomites, in the hill country of Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Esau's wife, Adah, and Reuel, the son of Esau's wife, Basemath. The sons of Eliphaz: Teman, Omar, Zepho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Esau's son Eliphaz also had a concubine named Timnah, who bore him Amalek. These are the grandsons of Esau's wife Adah. The son of Reuel, Nahath, Zerah, Shema, and Mizah. These were the grandson of Esau's wife Basemath. The sons of Esau's wife, Oholibamah, daughter of Anah, the granddaughter of Zibeon, whom she bore to Esau, Jush, Jalam, and Korah. These were the chiefs among Esau's descendants. The son of Eliphaz, the firstborn of Esau, chiefs Teman, Omar, Zepho, Kenaz, Korah, Gatam, and Amalek. These were the chiefs descended from Eliphaz and Edom. They were the grandsons of Adah. The sons of Esau's son Reuel, chiefs Nahath, Zerah, Shema, and Mizah. These were the chief descendants from Reuel in Edom. They were grandsons of Esau's wife Basemath. The sons of Esau's wife Oholibamah, chiefs Jush, Jalam, and Korah. These were the cities descended from Esau's wife Oholibamah, daughter of Anah. These were the sons of Esau, that is Edom, and these were the chiefs. These are the sons of Seir and Seir the Horite, who were living in the region: Lotan, Shabal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishon. These are the sons Seir and Edom were Horite chiefs. The sons of Lotan, Hori and Homam. Timnah was Lotan's sister. The sons of Shabal, Alvin, Manahath, Ebal, Shepho, and Onam. The sons of Zibeon, Aya and Anah. This is the Anah who discovered the hot springs in the desert while he was grazing the donkeys of his father Zibeon. The children of Anah, Dishon and Oholibamah, daughter of Anah. The sons of Dishon, Hemdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Karen. The sons of Ezer, Bilhan, Zavan, and Akon. The sons of Dishon, Uz, and Aran. These were the Horite chiefs: Lotan, Shabal, Zibeon, Amah, Dishon, Ezer, and it's hard to see with the light, sorry, and Dishon. These were the Horite chiefs according to their divisions in the land of Seir. These were the kings who reigned in Edom before any Israelite king reigned. Bela son of Bor became king of Edom. His city was named Dinhabah. When Bela died, Jobab son of Zerah from Basra succeeded him as king. When Joab died, Husham from the land of the Temanites succeeded him as king. When Husham died, Hadad son of Bedad, who defeated Midian in the country of Moab, succeeded him as king. His city was named Avith. When Hadad died, Samlah from Masrekah succeeded him as king. When Samlah died, Shaul from Rehoboth on river succeeded him as king. When Shaul died, Baal-Hanan, son of Akbor, succeeded him as king. When Baal-Hanan, son of Akbor, died, Hadad succeeded him as king. His city was named Pau, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, daughter of Mitrid, the daughter of Mezahab. These were the chiefs descended from Esau by name, according to the clans of the regions: Timnah, Alva, Jetheth, Oholibamah, Elah, Panan, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzar, Magdiel, and Iram. These were the chiefs of Edom, according to their settlements in the land they occupied. This is the family line of Esau, the father of the Edomites.
Chapter 37. Jacob lived in the land where his father had stayed, the land of Canaan. This is the account of Jacob. Joseph, a young man of 17, was tending the flocks with his brothers, the sons of Bilhah, and the sons of Ziph, his father's wives, and he brought their father a bad report about them. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons because he had been born to him in his old age, and he made him a richly ornamented robe for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it." His brothers said to him, "Do you really intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. "Listen," he said, "I had another dream, and this time the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me." When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father rebuked him and said, "What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually come and bow down to the ground before you?" His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Now, His brothers had gone to graze their flocks near Shechem, and Israel said to Joseph, "As you know, your brothers are grazing the flocks near Shechem. Come, I'm going to send you to them." "Very well," he replied. So he said to him, "Go and see if all is well with your brothers and with the flocks, and bring word back to me." Then he sent him off from the valley of Hebron. When Joseph arrived at Shechem, a man found him wandering around in the fields and asked him, "What are you looking for?" He replied, "I'm looking for my brothers. Can you tell me where they are grazing their flocks?" "They've moved on from here," the man answered. "I heard them say, 'Let's go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them near Dothan. But when they saw them in the distance, and before he reached them, they plotted to kill him. "Here comes that dreamer," they said to each other. "Come now, let's kill him and throw him into one of these cisterns and stay. A ferocious animal devoured him. Then we'll see what comes of his dreams." When Reuben heard this, he tried to rescue him from their hands. "Let's not take his life," he said. "Don't shed any blood. Throw him into this cistern here in the desert, but don't lay a hand on him." Reuben said this to rescue him from them and take him back to his father. So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the richly ornamented robe he was wearing, and they took him and threw him into the cistern. Now the cistern was empty, there was no water in it. As they sat down to eat their meal, they looked up and saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead. Their camels were loaded with spices, balm, and myrrh, and they were on their way to take them down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, "What will we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him. After all, he is our brother, our own flesh and blood." His brothers agreed. So when the Midianite merchants came by, his brothers pulled Joseph up out of the cistern and sold him for 20 shekels of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took him to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the cistern and saw that Joseph was not there, he tore his clothes. He went back to his brothers and said, "The boy isn't there. Where can I turn now?" Then they got Joseph's robe, slaughtered a goat, and dipped the robe in the blood. They took the ornamented robe back to their father and said, "We found this. Examine it to see whether it is your son's robe." He recognized it and said, "It is my son's robe. Some ferocious animal has devoured him. Joseph has surely been torn to pieces." Then Jacob tore his clothes, put on sackcloth, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and daughters came to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. "No," he said, "in mourning I will go down to the grave to my son." So his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph in Egypt to Potiphar, one of Pharaoh's officials, the captain of the guard. So 37, 5 through 7. I think from now on, now that Joseph is going to be at Potiphar's, we really just start to see some amazing maturity and spiritual awesomeness from Joseph. But that wasn't always the case. 37, 5 through 7, Joseph had a dream. And when he told it to his brothers, you'll have to forgive me for reading like this. I kind of can't help it. And when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf rose and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered round mine and bowed down to it." It's a really different picture of the Joseph that we're going to see later on. And I think that's interesting because we see in Joseph later on this almost humility despite the position that he has. Maybe it's not a humility, but later on when he encounters his brothers again, it's a very different Joseph that we run into. And I think that's something that I've noticed in you is there's maybe I'll say I've noticed it a little bit less lately, but there is a quietness about you, and sometimes there's a very loudness about you, but how you carry yourself and how you sometimes mumble to yourself and mutter to yourself, it is incredibly cute and endearing.
Yeah, you look
But
like this and you go,
and you're just talking to yourself, and it's amazing. In fact, today we were in the pantry because you love going into the pantry with the light off and just closing the door and just standing there in the dark. Well, I'm assuming you're standing in the dark. I'm usually outside the pantry and you close yourself in. And I don't usually let it go on for more than 3 or 4 seconds before I hear you just muttering in the dark to yourself. And so I went in today and I turned on the light and went in and sat down with you. And you were trying to reach your mom's little coffee or her chocolate protein drinks. And you were like, "Okay," just pointing at it. And so finally I gave it to you and you're just so happy. You started kind of clapping them together. And you were it was awesome. It was super cute. And I was like, there's this kind of gentle, it sounds weird, but a gentle dignity in it. And in how you carried yourself. And I think that that changes the older we get. We lose some of that simplistic nature, absolutely, but the way that you just found simple joy in it, and it was very real, and that's part of my prayer for you, is that you continue with that same spirit, that contentment, and that your contentment doesn't come from yourself or little protein drinks, but it comes from God. And that quiet, reserved, humble nature is incredibly beautiful. And it's so devalued in our society. Like humble women that are not loud or so adorned is so devalued. But I would venture that if you ask almost any guy, there's a lot of worth there. And that's part of my prayer for you. Not that you would find a guy, but that you would carry yourself with, well, that you would find a guy, that you would get married and stuff. But that's not why. That you would carry yourself like that, so that you would be attractive to other people for God's glory. That you would walk in that humility, that you would walk in the same humility that Joseph walks in later on in life. That you're not just going to people and saying, "Hey, listen to this awesome dream that I had. I I will become great, or I am great." But instead walking in a different type of humility. And I feel like we're already beginning to see it. I don't know if there was anything.
No.
Okay. Okay. Worth praying. Here, I'll let you pray.
Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today. We just adore how you, and are astonished at how you plan for our lives. We are just a blink in existence, and yet you care for us so deeply that you have planned our whole lives from beginning to end. And yeah, it's just kind of crazy to think about, but I just pray for Kinsey that as you already have planned out her life, that she continues to be attractive for your glory and for your kingdom come. That she is humble in the word, that she is confident in who she is in you, and that she doesn't walk around with haughty pride. Rather, it's humility and just an attraction that is, yes, beauty, because she is beautiful, and thank you for that. But also just that she is, I'm trying to think of the words, but that she's just all about you. And that's what we want for her, is that she is just so in love with who you are, that that love elsewhere comes easy for her too. So we thank you for Kinsey. We thank you for the gift that she is, that she gives us joy and peace in many moments. And I just pray for her sleep, especially tonight too, as she has a little bit of a cold. And we just pray this in your name, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Yeah, I think that's something we already get to see, is you're bringing joy to us. And that's probably true of most parents, I would say, right? But it is still so incredible and so awesome to watch. We'll know that we love you, and we'll be praying for you. We will plan on seeing you tomorrow. Have a good one.